what happens after you die? Let's talk about decomposition and that whole process. So, I am not going to be showing pictures because I do not want my account to get nerfed from the planet, so just imagine your own pictures or go search it up on Google. So decomposition tends to vary between types of organisms, so like plant decomposition is different than mammalian, which is different than like insect, etc. But this is essentially just human and mammals similar to humans. Overall, there tend to be 5 stages of decomposition. The first being fresh, which is a horrible term. So this is like right after the organism dies. It's like right away, the corpse is still fresh, and there's kind of 3 sub-stages within this. This is also called autolysis, which is basically self-breaking down. So the first sub-step in the fresh stage is when the body temperature decreases. Since there's no cellular activities or metabolism, there is no heat being produced as a byproduct, so there is no heat being produced and the body just reaches a level temperature. And this stage is called algor mortis. The second sub-step is rigor mortis. I did make a more in-depth video about this, but this is basically the body stiffening and the muscles like just freezing up, basically. If you want more about that, go check out my other video. The final sub-step is livor mortis, where all the blood pools to the half of the body that is closest to the ground because there is no cardiac, respiratory, whatever system cycling the blood around the body, so due to gravity, it all just pools down at the bottom. That is the fresh stage. The next stage is the bloat stage, also known as the gross stage, in my opinion. This is where all the microorganisms within the gut and like systems and everything, they start to break down all the tissues and cells, so they start eating everything. And due to the microbiome and the organisms' metabolisms, because they still are alive, they still have their metabolisms, a bunch of gases are produced as byproducts, and that makes the body swell up and like bloat, and it's disgusting. So the body, like, it's just basically a balloon, and it swells up with all these gases. This is the stage where it smells really bad due to organic compounds called putrescine and cadaverine being produced, and they just smell horrible. That's where the dead body smell comes from. This is also an interesting stage because occasionally they can explode. The bodies can explode if there's too much gas build up, because like they're still like in an enclosed area, they just swell up like a balloon. Sometimes if the pressure gets too much, they can pop. Actually, my microbiology teacher a couple years ago, he was telling us a story that when he used to work on a cattle farm or something, and when a cow died, they had to actually shoot it so it would explode when they wanted it to, and not when they were too close and could get hit by flying cow parts. So that's a fun time. Exploding dead cows. In the bloat stage, most of the bacteria is aerobic, which means it needs oxygen to do the respiratory action, but after the bloat stage, it switches over to more anaerobic bacteria, where they don't need oxygen, so that's interesting. The next stage is active decay, where all of the tissues and cells and stuff start to liquefy. This is the stage that insects are most active in, like corpse beetles or blowflies, and the different bugs can actually be used to determine how old the body is due to the stage in the life cycle of the fly larva. So if the fly larvae are little babies, that means it hasn't been dead for super long, but if they're almost all like adult or close to adult larvae, then it's been a bit while longer. So yeah, in active decay, the bugs are doing their thing, and you are being turned into corpse juice. The next stage is advanced decay, and that's, depending on the source, it can also be lumped in with active decay and say that they're the same stage, basically. But in advanced decay, the putrefaction, or your body is turning into corpse juice, that is almost complete. Most of the soft tissue is gone, and what's left is kind of disgusting black sludge. And the final stage of decomposition is skeletonization. So after all the soft tissue is gone, you are left with just the skeletal remains, so the bones, the teeth, sometimes cartilage, but often the cartilage also decays. And basically you've just got a nice little skeleton that is no longer absolutely disgusting. This video is getting kind of long, but there are factors that affect decay and the rate of decay and all that, so come back for part 2 and I will go over those.